What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the channel. My name is John, and in this video, we're talking denials. Specifically, what happens if you're denied for a credit card? What do you do next? Now, I'm gonna say this. If you didn't get denied for a hard reason, then I will say you probably have a 85–90% chance of actually getting that approval through. And if you're wondering how, well, sit down, hang tight, smash that little thumb icon to help spread the word. We're gonna dive right into it. All right, credit card denials. We've all been there. I know I certainly have. I've gotten my fair share of denials, and I'll tell you, it is not a good feeling getting that letter saying, hey, unfortunately, we couldn't approve you. But all hope is not lost. I mentioned earlier, if it's a hard denial, some of the hope is lost. But if it's not a hard denial, we've still got a chance. So let's quickly clarify, what is a hard denial? A hard denial, in my opinion, is basically you've broken some rule that the bank has where they say, if you've broken the rule, we will deny you for a card. What do I mean by that? Chase Bank has one of the most infamous credit card rules. It's known as the 524 rule. It simply states if you've had more than 5 cards in the past 24 months, Chase will deny you for the next card. Say you have 5 cards and you apply for a Chase card. Well, that would be your 6th card. Chase will just automatically deny you. American Express also has a similar rule where if you have 5 credit cards total, not in the 24 months, but just total, they will deny you for a 6th card from American Express. The nuance there is Chase looks at all credit card issuers, American Express looks specifically at only American Express credit cards. Those are just 2 examples. Of course, there's gonna be rules from Citibank, Bank of America, Barclays, and you have to figure them out. And I'll actually leave a link in the description below so you can read up on those rules. If it's one of those rules, unfortunately, there's not much that we can do to go ahead and try to get that application approved. You'll just have to make sure that you fall within the approval parameters. Another hard denial we often see is credit score. If your credit score is significantly below the threshold of the minimum credit score that the bank is requiring, unfortunately, there's not a whole ton you can do. And what I mean by that is there's not a whole ton you can do for this application cycle. There is a lot you can do to increase your credit score. I'll leave a link up here to videos where I break down exactly how you can go ahead and start boosting your credit score. But the main thing to keep in mind is making payments on time in full if you currently have credit cards. If you don't currently have credit cards and you're just starting out in the world of credit, potentially you could ask your parents to add you as an authorized user. By getting added as an authorized user, you can actually benefit from their good credit profile. And you don't even have to have the authorized user card. You can simply just ask them to add you as an authorized user and leave that credit card in the sock drawer and just continue letting them building their good credit. And in that way, you'll actually be able to reap some of the benefits of their good credit. I know, it's kind of like a cheat code. So those are 2 hard reasons that I would say, unfortunately, we won't be able to push through an approval. If you've broken some sort of rule that the bank has set out, or if your credit score is way below their qualifying threshold. There are a couple more to call out, but those are the main ones that we typically see. What about the rules that aren't hard set? Well, you're in luck, because these rules, they're a little bit more flexible and there's a lot more that we can do to try to push through the approval process. And I would say my success rate, if I really think about it, I think it's about 100% when it comes to getting a denial for a non-hard reason. So here's an example. Another rule from Chase Bank. I know Chase has so many rules. This has to do with your credit utilization, specifically how much credit is available to you relative to your income. Chase likes to see 50% or less. What that means is if you have a $50,000 income, Chase wants to see that across all of your credit profile, you have less than $25,000 of credit available to you. If you have more, there's a likelihood that Chase is going to deny you, but you can always reduce the credit limit and then seek for reconsideration. Another example of a non-hard set rule is, say this is your first time opening a credit card with this particular bank, be it Chase, American Express, Discover, Citi, Barclays, whoever it is, and they deny you because they say, oh, you don't have a banking relationship with us. Well, this one's an easy one too. It could just be as simple as opening a checking account, or it could just be as simple as explaining your case. What does that mean exactly? This is where it gets fun, and this is what's called a reconsideration call. As the name would state, you're calling the bank to reconsider your application. And typically, this has to be done within 30 days of getting notice of your denial. So if you do it within 30 days, you're not gonna have another hard pull on your credit. If you do it outside of 30 days, you're gonna have to apply again for the same credit card. So make sure you stay on top of when you get the denial notice or the letter. All right, reconsideration calls. What are they? Premise of it is you're talking to a human being to reconsider your profile. I'll leave a link below for some of the most common reconsideration phone numbers for the major banks. This is how it works. Step 1 is just to call the reconsideration line. When the other person picks up, this is step 2. You ask them to review your credit profile, or you can say that, hey, I got my letter or I got my denial letter. Can you give me some more details here? And in which case, they'll kind of go through some more details or clarify some of your questions. And the third step would be you asking them to reconsider. And this is really where you have to pitch. This is where you have to tell them exactly why it is they should reconsider you. I recommend coming with some good reasons. And keep in mind, the person on the other line of that reconsideration call, they're a human being. Have them empathize with you. Bring in a good reason. Don't just say, oh, I saw a 100,000 point sign-up bonus. I want the card. That's likely not gonna cut it, because at the end of the day, they're not just plugging your application into a system, they are manually reviewing it to see what they can do. So come with a reason, whether it's, hey, it's the first time I'm banking with you guys and I'm very excited to start a banking relationship with you, or if it's simply you have too much available credit, ask them what you can do to move credit around. Let's go back to the Chase example. Remember how I said with Chase, they like to see typically that the total amount of available credit that you have is less than 50% of your income. Well, if that's the case, you can always ask Chase if they could shuffle around some of the credit that you have with Chase Bank. And all that would be is, hey, would you mind just reducing some of my available credit, or taking the available credit I already have with Chase and moving it onto this new card. Therefore, Chase isn't extending me more credit. That's one example. Or if the credit isn't with Chase, then you can call to the other banks and ask them to reduce your credit. Again, these were just some of the examples, but really come in with a reason as to why you should be approved. Whether you're excited to be working with the bank, whether you're excited about traveling and using the rewards, whatever it is, just know that the person on the other line is a human and they can reason and empathize. And that's it. That's a reconsideration call. Now, if at the end of it, they're still unable to approve you and you determine that it's not a hard no, then I would recommend you to hucka. Hang up, call again. And this is where I've spent most of my time actually. It's usually the first rep, or sometimes even the second rep, is unable to approve you. But as long as it's not a hard no, you can get it. Here's a personal example of how hang up, call again worked. This was a credit card I wanted desperately. Chase Inc. preferred 100,000 point sign-up bonus. I ended up speaking to 3 reps across 3 hours. The first rep I spoke with for an hour was unable to approve me. The second customer service rep I spoke with for an hour was unable to approve me. It wasn't until I spoke with the third customer service rep that they were able to approve me, and I was on the line for an hour. And these weren't calls that were done sequentially. They didn't transfer from one rep to another to another. No, it was actually I spoke to the first rep, denied me, and I waited a couple hours, and I called in again and had the exact same conversation. They denied me, and then the third rep I called in again had the exact same conversation and they approved me. So I want that to serve an example that just because one rep says no, it doesn't mean no. It just means you need to try again. And for me, in trying again, my success rate is 100% when it comes to getting denied for cards that are not a hard denial. All right, that was a ton. Let me know in the comment section below. Have you ever done a reconsideration call? What are your thoughts on hanging up and calling again? Love to get a pulse from the audience because for me, I've always done that. Not just credit cards, but with any sort of customer service. If one customer service rep is unable to provide what it is that I'm requesting for, and I understand that the request isn't outrageous, I will simply thank them for their time and then call back in again and make the exact same request. My name is John. It's been a great video as always. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you like, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I drop 2 videos a week and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.